Ready? It's Michael Pierce. Diane, my lady, thank you for being the first to notice I was different. I now appreciate how long you've been supporting my growth and progress. I heard you sharing about the new beginnings at the change of this year. I understand. For me, every January is a hard restart. 4 years ago this month, I was being airlifted 200 miles in a jet helicopter to get life-saving surgery after receiving 4 stints from the best plumber in the province. I had a new lease on life. The next day, I started walking my way back to health in a hospital ward. First 500 steps, second day 1,000 steps, third day 1,500 steps. By day 6, I was up to 3,000 steps. Paddle, paddle, kick, kick. My journey did not start here. I had already been following this healthier path since 2001 when I quit being a master chef. That is, cooking for money, smoking cigarettes, and drinking more than 2 shots a day. 3 years ago, on the anniversary of that life-changing surgery, I found a blog training platform. That launched my online success. 1 year later, I'd created 3 blogs, branded me as the voice of Michael's Health Answers. I was on my way. I was going to tell my recovery story to the world. It was there I met my first follower, Agnes Knowles. She's my personal grammar Nazi and one of the reasons I'm so well spoken today. 2 years ago, after 10 or 11 months of intense training, I found myself being blessed and receiving my first accolades online. I had placed number 22. Agnes, my faithful sidekick, had placed number 19 in the top 50 MLM blogs for 2013. I believe this is where I first came to your attention, Diane, unless you've noticed me as one of those spammer guys that irritates you before that. Then there was 3 months later. It's like I hit my head. I lost my board. I washed up on a different beach. That place taught me I was not ready to launch my own product or step out on my own yet. That forced me to look elsewhere for what I needed next. One of the bloggers from Beth Hewitt Simply Blogging Network, where I was in a commenting group, liking and sharing each other's posts, was Dr. Lisa Thompson. She was part of that group, and she was promoting something called the Guru Code. I started listening to the legendary Diane Hoffman, but even more exciting to me was hearing that Larry Hoffman, her husband and partner, was going to be helping us with mindset. I'd done all the technical training I could find, still making less than $100 a month online, spending more than that because it was $200 each for the life-changing products that we consumed that had transformed both Angela and myself into the young, healthy people we are today. We have lost a whole fat person in the last 7 years, totaling 170 pounds between us. What I heard when I came to listen to the Guru Code, well, the first thing was the language of kings. It's an important lesson. If you don't need to say it, it needs not to be said. Or the second way of that lesson was reinforced. No one needs to know what you can't do. Only tell them what you can do. It's always better as it focuses on the positive reinforcing the best possible outcome. Code 2, Law of the Jungle. This is where my first big epiphany was. Diane shared that it was hardwired in the DNA of all animals in nature that when a herd member is sick, old, or injured, if it does not take itself away from the herd, that when it starts to complain, the healthy members of the herd will have to move away, leaving it to die. This explained 2 things at the same time that I had been having problems with. I had no idea that it was a bad idea to sit in one's pain and complain about how it was not working, as it was unattractive and unprofessional, because it focused on the negative, bringing more negatives into my life. Secondly, every time I started by sharing my painful saga of woe, the pain in the story I was sharing pushed away many of the well-meaning individuals that have been trying to help me in my own journey towards success. I still have fast friends from that group of adventurous entrepreneurs. It was the Guru Code that introduced me to the man that was destined to teach me what I'd been missing. The final piece of the puzzle was the 5 steps to receiving. That was the core teaching in the Mind Intensive program. which I turned to 6 months after the Guru Code during summer school last year. I did a post about it on michaelsouthAnswers.ca, the steps to receiving what you really want. Explains what I learned on Larry's course. We can cover that right now if you want to go there and visit it. Or not. I started a weekly hangout to practice my group hosting and networking skills. I used what I learned during the Guru Code to see if I had a future with Immunotech, the company, whose products had changed my life and transported me physically when I had been daily ingesting their pure raw food, the best pure raw food on the planet. I had two big problems. I knew Immunotech would support my sharing my story, but could not prove the health claims that my recovery was the best hope for all people facing heart health challenges. In my private interview that I gotten by applying my Guru Code skills with the only living scientist, the co-creator of Immunocal, Dr. Connor Shavin, I found out that it was impossible to do a double-blind clinical trial where the outcome of the patients not protected by our wonderful product would be 40% of them dying of a heart failure. Secondly, they could not protect me if I got sued for making that medical claim. So, what to do? A few years ago, I would have given up. Now it was not even an option, having once been famous, even though it was fleeting, and it wrecked me for a normal job. So I carried on. I learned more. I applied your teachings. I kick, paddle, paddle. Life went on. At the end of the Mind Intensive, I found out about the opportunity that Jonathan Budd was creating to turn the world, panel the planet, and his Project Power to bring zero down solar to the United States first, and then home North America, and then the world. That's something I've been passionate about. I didn't know, or I didn't say it because I didn't start back at the beginning, but in 2001 when I left cooking, part of the reason I had given up on cooking was a book I'd been reading. It's called The Last Rays of Ancient Sunlight, and in there, the men that wrote the book prophesied that we would have to turn to solar and wind as the world solution, and we also have to turn to community-based civilization away from what he called the younger culture problem. I'm not going to go into all that here. It's long and complicated, but suffices to say, that book had been part of the reason why I broke the mold and left cooking and started on this 15-year journey to be the person you see sitting here today. I had no idea the reason I'd gone to the insurance world to learn about savings and investment, just so I would understand the value of compounding of efforts and compound interest and investment over time. The second thing that taught me was that you can sell just about anything if you learn the right skills and you passionately believe it was the best thing for your audience. It was when this was no longer good for my audience. I became depressed, and that led me on my dark path that led me to a heart attack at 46, partly because I'd never taken the best care of myself. And even when I'd started, I hadn't started soon enough to correct all the damage I'd done in the first 40 years of my life. Hard life being a chef. I'd working 50 hours a week for 20 years and had 1 week off a year. When I wasn't off working, I was usually off working somewhere else or doing something else to generate income, or renovating a home, or working on a vehicle. I was always a hands-on sort of guy, rarely ever paying anybody else to teach me anything or do anything, just go out and learn. That doesn't work in this space. I found out you need coaches, you need mentors, you need groups of people, you need passion, you need answers, you need to be providing solutions to the people around you. Really, it just comes down to it. You have to learn how you can share and improve other people's lives. Through sharing and improving other people's lives, you'll get what you want, you get what you need to get taken care of. But until you start helping others, you start giving. If you can't give, you won't receive. On and on it goes. They're all parts of a pattern. They're all parts of a cycle. They're all pieces of a puzzle. I can help people coming behind me now because I've completed the transformation. I now own what I do. In the last 90 days, I've managed to recruit 20 people into a new business model. Half of these people partnered up, got serious about it. We won the game changer at Power. We're lined up to start getting company leads in a month or so, or less than a month now, and it's going to create a huge stream of new income. But as far as success from working with Diane and Larry, for 15 years, my average family income was $50,000. And in the last calendar year, my wife and I looks like we're going to max out at about 80. That's a 30% household income. We haven't even turned on the tap from online. I used the experiences and the knowledge I'd acquired during the Guru Code and through Larry's training about what motivates people and how we work as people and how our brains work. I wrote a letter to my wife's employer that she was resigning her job. She was going to quit because they weren't giving her enough hours and they were working her boss to death. That letter was so effective and so powerful that the publisher ran it up the food chain all the way to head office for a national company with thousands of outlets and hundreds of thousands of employees. And the president of the company contacted the local publisher and told them that his company, Black Press, would pay for my wife's permanent part-time position to solve the staffing issue because he knew that department had 20% annual cuts for the last 3 years and couldn't afford. Money wasn't there to pay the part person. They didn't want to lose somebody with 6 years, 7 years experience, and all her skills, especially when they knew they'd need her for the person's holidays and take care of them if something happened. So it isn't an online success, but when you go from barely having enough money to live on, we made more money in the month of December than we made in the first 3 months this year, and it's all stable, it's all secure. I support myself working about 36 hours a week, and next month I'm going to resign from a 15-year delivery job to focus more online because I know that the income will be coming from this new business model, and even if it doesn't, we have enough surplus and cash flow that as long as I don't spend any extra money, we can maintain ourselves with cushion every month. And I'm only going to be working 24 hours a week, so I'm going to be fully able to focus half my working time on the Power Project, getting more people involved, getting more people trained, getting more people confident. I want to share what I know with the other people out there. I want to share what works. I want to tell everybody that Diane and Larry have the answers, that together working with these people, I've been able to put together the pieces that took me 15 years to collect. I've been able to organize them in a way that works for me. I'm now recruiting 1 new person a week to this business model, and that was working less than 3 hours a day. That includes my blogging time, my chat time, and everything, because I have a busy work life that keeps me healthy and active, and works my mind and my body, because all these things are connected. I gotta say, when you learn to do one thing better, it makes you do everything better. So it actually takes me more time now to do my paper in the morning than it used to 2 years ago, because in doing one thing better, I found I have to do everything better. So it actually takes me longer to do my mundane work job because I'm more focused on a better overall service to my customers. And this was reflected in the month of December when I received 33% more tips than the previous year and accumulated almost 3 pay periods or 6 weeks worth of income as gratuities from my customers. I also have to say, Larry, that when it comes to receiving, the day that I got my first paid partner in Power was also the day I donated $50 and sorted hard kids' toys for elementary age kids. I'd gone to the local department store and bought 4 toys totaling $50 and donated them to a Stop the Bus campaign that was happening at the store's parking lot, and came home to find out that my first advocate had partnered up, and that was the charge that led to 8 people in 8 weeks and got us to the Game Changer. It's a contest where the people that get 8 partners in 8 weeks qualify for company leads for the next 12 weeks to build their business. Because of what I learned with the Guru Code, I realized that this was the opportunity of a lifetime. Not only is it something I'm passionate about, but somebody else is going to put paid leads into my business and my team's business for the first 12 weeks of this year, the whole quarter, starting in February. It's like a gift. Once I started giving and looking and supporting other people, all these things started to flow back at me. I haven't even turned the tap on. It's going to be coming in US dollars, which is really cool for me here in Canada. I've been suffering for the last 3 years as our dollar fell and fell and fell, and I was paying for all this training online, and the cost of the border, shipping money across the border went up to almost from 30% to 50% real cost. To me, between the exchange, the currency on the card, the exchange rate, the fees, the tax, all that stuff going back and forth, it costs money 3% here, 2% there, 35% on the exchange, start talking 40 cents on the dollar. But that's going to flip around. It's all good news. And if you wait long enough and you're just patient and you don't struggle against it, the bad news is good news, because when I start getting paid in US dollars, I'm going to get paid $1.50 for every dollar I make. So it's all good. Larry, your teachings, Diane, your marketing knowledge, those 2 things together gave me all that I didn't